Hello, my dear friends. How are you doing? Hope you are having an amazing day and not having to deal with drama. Ready for new stories I have for you today? Let's go to the first one. And don't forget to listen to the end of the story, guys, to hear my insights. Enjoy the stories. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment. My husband, 33, and I, 32, have been married 5 years and have 2 kids with another on the way. We make decent money, HHI $300,000, but we haven't been in this money for that long, and we did put the vast majority of our savings for a down payment on a house. We are also in a period of time with high childcare costs. I also have low 6-figure student loan debt, and we each have car loans. I would like to not deal with debt our entire life. My sister-in-law, 30, makes over $180,000 for a few years now. Supposedly, her partner's family has money, and he is of similar age and earning potential. My husband paid for his sister's master's program. We only spent less than $10K, including everything, even accommodation for our own wedding, in part because he was paying her not cheap tuition. She doesn't recognize how much he sacrificed to do so. It's not expected that she will pay that back, and I'm fine with that. Most was spent when we were dating, and not that much after marriage. When we got married, we had a smallish reception in India because his parents wanted it. My sister-in-law didn't come because she wanted to start her internship during the holiday season. Although we spent $1K on a non-refundable ticket for her. He co-signed and paid the down payment for a loan when we had no money and a baby on the way without really asking. She didn't realize autopay was off and ended up degrading his credit score right when we were home shopping. So our mortgage rate is higher than it would have been otherwise, and it will be for years to come. She is now getting married. My husband gets off the phone with his mom and says we need to sell our investments to give at least $10,000 for his sister's wedding. We have budgeted about $7,000 already for plane tickets to attend. At least him and 2 kids. I might go, but I will be 3 months postpartum, and I'm not sure about bringing a newborn on a 24-plus hour travel adventure. Another reason why I am the bad guy. Well, anyways, I refused for him to give that money. I said she didn't ask and doesn't need it. She is old enough to have saved or planned something within budget that parties can afford without him contributing. Apparently, the wedding will be more than 1,100 people. He says, why do I hate his family and it's tradition for him to help pay? I told him that he has obligations to his family, his kids. He says I'm too money-minded and selfish. I said that it is not fair to spend most of our disposable income for 3 years on his sister, that his sister is a grown woman and he has already contributed enough to her life. This wedding is a want and not a need. I also pointed out that he wants to spend more money on his sister's wedding than he even did on his own. We will have 3 young children and our own debts. The economy is not stable, and we cannot deplete our savings for his sister. Am I the a-hole for refusing? Not the a-hole. Sorry, if she earns so much money, why does he need to pay for anything? Absolutely no reason at all why you should finance his sister's wedding, especially as much as that. I would have said no too. Not the a-hole. What's probably going on here is sister wants your hubby to chip in $10,000 for the wedding so that the newlyweds can afford a nicer honeymoon. Not the a-hole. Tell your husband that you'll divorce him before you allow a third person to get involved and dictate where he spends your joint savings. His sister makes more than enough money to pay for her own wedding. Call your mother-in-law and tell her to take a loan because you will not be taking bread out of your children's mouths nor money out of their college funds for a party. Edit 1. His thoughts are that sister's wedding is now. We can take care of our stuff later, and he should contribute. I grew up poor, so I know what it feels like for money to disappear. I know that a good job today doesn't mean a good job in the future. We are dual income, and one income can cover all expenses if we stop 401k and took the kids out of daycare, and it would be very tight, hence why savings is important. It is of the thought that our very modest wedding was not because of preference, but because we were at a different financial state. But she didn't attend our wedding at the end of the day because she didn't feel like it was important. For me, it is the nonverbals, and knowing his father in particular is about appearance, and this is his only daughter. The fact that partner's family has money makes him want to measure up to them. If he doesn't push back, his parents will ask him for money, probably without telling his sister, for more and more stuff. I am under the impression that the dad is the one planning it. She is in the US too. Edit 2. Spoke to sister-in-law. She was surprised that mother-in-law would ask for $10K. She said she already sent the money for the venue. She told her not to ask him because he has other things going on with his life, and she has been saving. So basically, This is his feelings of what he should do, but it's customary. She asked if both of the kids would need plane tickets and said that the tickets are already expensive. Edit 3. It's more about, I don't have enough financial security yet to give when it's not needed. I remembered food banks, food stamps, no money for anything fun, no money for running shoes, evictions, etc. It started when my dad got laid off and then shortly after got a DUI. He was basically unhireable after the DUI. So, although we are bringing in money now, it hasn't gone on long enough for me to have enough breathing room because of liabilities, especially when each of our employments are in a transitioning period. I think if the student loans and car loans were gone, I wouldn't care. If we could maintain our HHI, we could probably do that in 2 years. I manage household finances. He doesn't go into any accounts very often. We don't talk about a vast majority of purchases unless it's over $1,000. Mostly because it's furniture, and we both would have to look at it. I make sure all the bills are paid, track accounts, make sure credit cards are paid in full, manage tax advantage plans, try to hedge taxes, manage 401k selection, choose the healthcare plans, etc. Once he managed a utility and the auto pay stopped. I wasn't aware until I got a letter in the mail that the utility was going to get cut. I gave his number for when my car got stolen. The cops called and left a voicemail that it was recovered and at a tow lot. It was there until I got notice of auction a month later from the DMV. There were a few other examples of like, what the duck? So I just handle things. Although there was a period of time he made good stock investments. Wished I gave him more play money. I turned around and lost half of it. So that was my what the duck moment. I am still amazed he didn't pull the trigger for me. Those wild option days are over, and overall we didn't lose any money. I say that because no one is perfect, and we normally don't argue about money. So when he came with the statement of I need to send $10K, he was more asking where he should take the money from, or for me to put that in the pipeline than permission to do so. He also became aware of the investment amount because I needed to update it, and the account is not on my computer. The only other time I said no to him was for a car he wanted, and that was not yet. He now has the car. Last comment. I am assuming this is put to rest unless he brings it up again. This morning, I told him he can have $8,000 for the wedding, including plane tickets. 3 tickets to India will be around $5,000. In time, if everything is fine with our jobs, then we can add a little more to that. His sister is not expecting any money and will remind her mom that she has been saving. He can contribute something later, but no funds from us should be a factor into the wedding expenses, most likely to replenish his parents' funds. Some background. Been together 16 years, 2 kids, a home together. And on to the brief overview. So, my ex-partner has been having an emotional affair with someone at work that I considered a very good friend. I worked there for over 5 years. He has been there 4 years. She joined us this year after I got her a job, basically. I told her a while back I was uncomfortable with how close they were getting, but I was gaslit into we are just friends. And then once I asked her if she was messaging him, and she said no. This was a lie, and she deleted the chat. Then a message was seen on Teams at work. I confronted her. She also then deleted this chat, admitted that things got out of hand and it was just flirting and innuendo. I spoke to my mate, who said the same. Then, the next morning, I woke up to a short essay from him admitting it. She then called me later and in tears said she had fell for him, despite all the "no, I love you," etc. We had split before because she was unhappy the week before. Supposedly my comments and criticisms had made her this way. Would take the piss. After this, we finally talked and she told me. I embarked on a self-improvement plan. I was trying hard with her, but then it came to a head with this. I emailed my boss and HR about this. I went into no details. She's really angry about that. She is still messaging him, but she won't let me see what is being said. She thinks work is going to fire her. I've told her I won't lie to anyone at work. She is asking me to keep her secrets because she is embarrassed, asking me to do something for her, but won't let the trust be rebuilt. Would I be the a-hole if I told people at work what happened if they asked? To clarify, I'm not saying I'll keep the secret if she shows me the messages. I'm pointing out the hypocrisy. I'm saying I will not lie if people at work ask me what has happened. Who is the bigger a-hole? 1. The friend who quietly has an affair with her friend's partner of 16 years, all the while lying directly to the friend's face and looking her in the eye daily at work. Or 2. The friend who got betrayed by both her and her partner and chooses not to also keep their secrets. I guarantee people know at work, so it's not going to be a massive secret reveal. Crap like this thrives on secrecy. Don't keep their secrets. You owe them nothing, not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. How does she think she has the right to ask you anything at this point? After destroying any trust you had in her. Actions have consequences. Not the a-hole. Everyone at work probably knows. People aren't ever as discreet as they think they are. Your coworkers were probably waiting to see if you'll continue to behave like a doormat or finally do something in the name of self-respect. You will be applauded for taking the high road and not being obviously vindictive. Visually, moving on is enough evidence that you're aware and not accepting of the betrayal. Behave with dignity. It's probably not just an emotional affair either, though those are just as hurtful. Don't leave your job. Make the cheaters leave. If one of them is the other's supervisor, that person will most likely be let go. Working together is convenient. The affair may end when it's no longer so easy, and the entire office is aware of it. You may get to see karma in action. My 56 female, daughter 29 female, still lives at home. My daughter was nervous about living on her own, and after college she asked if she can come back home until she is ready. With the prices of houses right now and how dangerous the world has become, me and my husband decided it was best if she stayed at home. She doesn't know when she plans on moving out, but she isn't in any rush, and me and my husband don't plan on rushing her either. She pays us rent once a month. Her only other bills is the stuff for her cat and what she chooses to do on her own time. My husband had the idea to save the money she was giving us as rent and give it back to her when she's about to move out as a surprise. My daughter does not know that we've been saving her rent money. Recently, my son, 31 male, and his wife have been house hunting. They haven't found anything in their budget that fits their needs. They're short on money and recently found out about what me and my husband had been doing with our daughter's rent money. Recently, he and his wife sat me and my husband down while our daughter was at work and asked us to give them the money we've been putting aside for our daughter. I told them no because it wasn't our money to give away and that it belonged to his sister. He argued that she wasn't moving out anytime soon and he and his wife needed the money now. I offered to gift him some money, but it wasn't nearly as much as the amount of money my daughter's rent money has created over the last 7 years she has been living with us. My son said that if we gave him the money, that me and my husband could just slowly put the money back over the next couple of years. I told him that me and my husband doing that would put us in financial strain. We aren't struggling by any means, but the amount of money set aside for my daughter is too much to just put back. He and his wife accused me of favoring my daughter. I told him that wasn't true because he had the opportunity to live at home and save up for a house, but chose not to live at home after college. I tried my best to explain to them that I couldn't just give away money that didn't belong to me. He and his wife angrily left after I refused to budge on the matter. Am I the a-hole for not giving away my daughter's money? Not the a-hole. They sure are entitled. I can't believe they declined money from you not related to the money your daughter has paid you in rent. That's ridiculous. Their financial situation is their responsibility and choice, and you are not required to give them anything, especially when it takes money from your daughter, who has been paying you each month. Not the a-hole. Your son and his wife are 1, entitled, and or 2, desperate. I have a sibling, and I could not imagine asking my parents that in the same situation. There are 2 people that money could rightfully belong to. You, your husband, or your daughter, but never your son. He sees something that would benefit him and is trying to manipulate the situation to get it. This is super sad as a parent, but you did the right thing. Horrible behavior. Not the a-hole, because it is your choice entirely. He was also offered the same deal and chose not to take it. However, it is your daughter's money only in your own mind. It is money your daughter paid to you, so it really is your choice. Own that. Your son is being an entitled a-hole along with his wife, though especially for turning down your offer of a smaller gift directly. That reeks of this being his way or try to stick it to his sister. Your husband's a bit of an a-hole for telling them about the money. He could have offered the setup to them without disclosing something you both have apparently kept secret, even from your daughter. All right, so context. My 34 female sister and her husband have a daughter, 12 female, who we will call Libby. She used to be a sweet, extroverted child who was just approachable and nice to be around in general. But as it goes with middle school, she is in some peer pressure, which is why her requests have become demands. She has become a spoiled brat, but less spoiled and more brat. Last year on her birthday, her parents got her a Nintendo Switch. It was a bit of a splurge on their part, because they aren't rich or anything. They could afford it, but it didn't seem practical for them. However, for her birthday, they decided to get one, and she was overjoyed. Lately, her sight has been set on a PS5, as what probably happens with middle school children. Keeping this in mind, I decided to save up a bit to get her one. Save up because my daughter's 11th female birthday was on the same month, and I would much rather have a bigger grocery budget than to get an expensive gift for someone who isn't directly related to me. However, for my daughter's birthday, I got her one of those loft beds with space underneath for a trundle because she had gotten into sleepovers, and as you might know, those aren't cheap. So I decided to save as much money as I could, so instead of a PS5, I got her a PS4, which was significantly less but still worked pretty good. When I gave it to her, I expected an overjoyed reaction, but instead, she freaked out about how I was picking favorites by giving my daughter a more expensive gift than her, my niece. I said, "Libby, you can use this when you've calmed down," and put it on a shelf. When I saw she wasn't interested and was having a tantrum, I took it with me and gave it to my daughter until her behavior improves. My sis and my brother-in-law have cut me off and will not let my daughter have any more playdates with Libby. Should I apologize? I don't want to ruin a relationship, and I've been told by them to be the bigger person. Not the a-hole. It's ridiculous to expect to get the same price gift from her aunt as her aunt's daughter. But I will say, have you considered that buying her 2 video game consoles in 2 years might be contributing to the spoiled brat attitude? Why are you buying her such expensive gifts, and what are her parents getting her? Not the a-hole. First of all, they are using you. Expensive stuff like that should be bought by parents, not aunts, uncles, or whoever else. If your niece has something that she has her eyes on, like the PS5, her parents should be the ones thinking about that gift. Especially if you have a child whose birthday is the same month. You are not obligated to spend your income on expensive gifts for your niece. I would actually like to know, what did your sister's family gift your daughter for her birthday? And what did they gift Libby? Not the a-hole. Libby is a brat. It's unfortunate that your sister cut contact with you after you spent hundreds of dollars on a gift her daughter didn't appreciate. That whole family owes you an apology.